Winter's cold grasp had finally let go of Thomas's branch line, and with the spring came a great deal of work for the quarry. Mavis was busier than ever, filling trucks with stone and then shunting them into their proper sidings. And when she wasn't busy in the quarry, she was taking trains to Farquhar. "I should be grateful I'm working again," she said to Toby, "but I could really use a rest." Toby chuckled. "Well, I'm sure it'll wind down soon, but until then you best keep those trucks in order." Toby was right. After being cooped up in the quarry all winter, the trucks were restless and eager for an opportunity to play their tricks again. One day, they pulled Mavis under the hopper. Another time they slipped on their brakes as she tried to pull them to Farquhar. Mavis was being put to the test. Even her harshest tactics made the trucks more mischievous. "That's enough!" she barked, giving them a dreadful laugh. "That's no way to treat us," they muttered darkly and whispered amongst themselves. Later that day, Mavis was arranging a long line of trucks to take to Farquhar that evening when Toby arrived with some empties. "Are you planning on taking that many trucks?" he asked worriedly. "Oh, don't worry," smiled Mavis. "They've been on their best behavior all day, thanks to me. It'll be a cakewalk." This didn't ease Toby's worries. "Did you know that there was an engine who used to work in the quarry before you?" "Yes," said Mavis. "What's that got to do with any of this?" Toby sighed and began his tale. "Back when this line was run by coffee pots, one of them used to work here. His name was Enofa, and he sometimes got a bit too big for his wheels. One night he took too many trucks. They pushed him down the tramway and he crashed just before the top station." Toby paused. "Not much of Enofa was recovered, but some nights workmen say they can hear his brakes screeching down the tramway, trying to stop his train, but he never does." Without another word, Toby went to shunt his trucks, leaving a speechless Mavis behind. Mavis remained silent for most of the day. "That story can't be true. Can it?" she thought. "Toby's not the sort of engine to pull a fast one like that. But I've never heard that story before." Soon, the daylight burned off, and a full moon shone down over the quarry. Mavis had just shunted the last trucks in front of her train. The train was long. It almost blocked the quarry entrance. The trucks giggled to each other as Mavis coupled up. "We'll do it at the gradient." Mavis slowly crept along the tramway. She jumped at the slightest sound or movement. There's no such thing as ghosts. There's no such thing as ghosts. There's no such thing as ghosts. Unfortunately, she became so distracted by Toby's story she forgot to check the trucks. "Now!" shouted the leader as 20 loaded stone trucks surged against Mavis. "Oh, help!" she cried as her brakes squealed along the rails. The train quickly gathered speed as they rocketed down the tramway. On, laughed the stupid trucks. "Oh, help! Help!" wailed Mavis once more as the train sped through the crossing. Then, Mavis felt something push against her front buffers, and sounds of brakes screeching filled the air. Suddenly, the train began to slow down. The trucks pushed as hard as they could, but Mavis was holding them now. As the train approached Farquhar, Mavis felt the weight come off her buffers, and she brought the trucks safely into the yard. "Are you all right?" asked Toby. "You sound like you were in great danger." "I was," panted Mavis. Then she smiled. "But I made it in one piece, thanks to a little bit of help." Following the incident, the trucks wisely decided not to give Mavis any more trouble. "She's stronger than she looks," they would warn each other. "She stops 20 of us with no trouble at all." They, of course, didn't know what really happened, but Mavis did. As a token of thanks, she always gives a friendly toot whenever passing the place where Anopha had his accident. Soon, many noticed that Anopha's ghost was no longer around. But Mavis knows that he is at rest, having finally been able to stop a runaway after so many years.